Acupuncture has been in use around the world for over 2,000 years.
Now, Western medicine, by and large, has been slow to embrace it, although the medical establishment does now acknowledge acupuncture's ability to relieve pain.
But as you'll see in our next story, acupuncture can sometimes have a much bigger healing impact.
In fact, in the right hands, or fingers, those tiny needles can be life-saving.
My name is Beth Wagner and I have Addison's. The problem was I wasn't diagnosed, and without being diagnosed and taking your medication, it should be fatal and you should go into a coma. It was 12 years and my doctors thought I was going to die. I'd been to all the best doctors. I'd been to the Mayo Clinic. I'd been everywhere. And someone researched and found Dr. Jin for me. And ironically, actually, I came to her office very sick.
My name is Ming Jane. I'm a licensed acupuncturist in New York and New Jersey.
My friend took me there and we're sitting in the office, and we had asked before on the phone, could she possibly come to my home because I wasn't well enough to be mobile. And they said she didn't make house calls.
When she came to the office, I got very shocked because there was two people follow her and they tell me she cannot have any noise, she cannot have any smell, and then she cannot have any of the material around touch her, and they tell me I need you clean the room very well, the air very well, otherwise I will be dead. So that's such serious patient, like I have no immune system. So I said, what's going on with this young lady?
Dr. Jin would learn that Beth was at a critical stage in her battle with Addison's. It's a rare form of autoimmune disease, one in which the immune system attacks one's own body and stops protecting it from infections from the outside. With Addison's, the immune system targets the adrenal glands, which then stop producing the hormones we need to survive.
She just felt my pulse, and then she said, go home, you're too sick, go home. And we thought she wasn't going to treat me. I mean, that was what I thought. 9 o'clock that night, I'm in my apartment with my friend, and the doorman calls, and he said, Dr. Jin is downstairs. I said, what? Who? I'm not expecting anyone. And she came up and she said, well, you're too sick. I can't treat you in the office, so I had to come to you.
In the beginning, she said, I'm young. This is my last choice. If I cannot do it, my whole life is ruined out. So that's the only choice I can do.
They had called everyone, my doctors. They said I wasn't going to make it, and my parents, everyone should say goodbye to me.
I said, if you cannot completely avoid all this kind of bacteria or germ around you, actually, if you are so young, you want to live in this world, how can you do that? I said, what you need to do is use the acupuncture to build up the immune system. And then we work very hard.
A mainstay of traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, acupuncture is exquisitely complex. Those hair-thin needles are meant to tap and stimulate specific nodes in the patient's nervous system, often around the site of pain or injury, almost always at central nerve points near the spine. For every session, the doctor creates a map of her approach, a precise location, a precise depth, a precise plan for how long each needle will remain. Dr. Jin says ultimately the treatment success relies on the doctor's thorough grasp of the patient's history and illness and the patient's willingness to trust in acupuncture.
Her doctor said, I don't believe it will work, but she trusts it will work.
Beth's problem was that with her condition still undiagnosed as Addison's, she wasn't getting the hormone and steroid medications she needed to replace what her adrenal glands weren't producing. Dr. Jin treated her for 4 years.
She was pretty wonderful in the sense that she's so busy. She knew how sick I was. She would come over in the evenings and she would do the acupuncture, and she made me some special, her herbs, and she got very old ginseng from China for me, like 35 years old, and she made me brews with it, and it would give me energy. It got me through those years.
If your immune system too low, you are easy to get infection. If your immune system too sensitive, you are easy to get the allergic reaction. So sometimes they use too much steroid, and then the immune system will getting low. If you use antibiotic too much, and then they will lose out the immune system again.
Oh, it doesn't hurt. They're not needles like a blood test. They're very thin needles and they don't hurt. They just feel like a little prick, and it's very relaxing and soothing. And acupuncture really just opens up any like energy blocks that you have in your body. You just feel peaceful, and then like a week or two later, you'll notice that you've just been having an easier time the last few weeks.
So why acupuncture good? It's because acupuncture treatment is adjusting or balance. That means if you have a lower immune system, they can adjust until your body getting stronger.
And about 2 years ago, I got correctly diagnosed and confirmed by 4 doctors that I have the Addisons, and they did all the tests, and they said it's a miracle. There's no way you should be alive today without having taken your medication. Like, to be symptomatic and to survive for 12 years is like miraculous.
And finally, she's getting better. It would take a long time. Now she was so happy. She always say, I want to use my experience and then work on this like a volunteer work, tell the patient, like help the patient they really needed to be helped.
It's pretty amazing how people come into your life, and you know, Ming didn't have to treat me. I mean, and she took me on. She didn't just treat me. She knew I was in need, and she showed up.
In the last 15 years, acupuncture has shown incredible growth in the United States. More than 14 million have used it, and mostly for simple pain relief.
But Beth Wagner's story shows how valuable acupuncture can be when it's expertly applied, even in much more serious cases.